I'm Peter Miller. I'm with a group that's not very active right now, but in Portland, Americans Unite for Palestinian Human Rights. And I've been working on this issue for almost 22 years. And I'm out here today because what Israel's doing right now in Gaza is a war crime and a genocide. And it's, a lot of human rights lawyers, human rights organizations, Mercy Corps, Oxfam, all these organizations are saying something terrible is happening, and we can see it. And yet, our government is giving the bombs to make it happen. And it's really a shock to our conscience, and I think a shock to a lot of people's conscience. And so I have to be out here because this has got to stop, and it could get much worse. It's bad already. 5,000 children killed, people starving, dying of thirst, lack of medicine, lack of medical care, their buildings destroyed, their schools bombed, and yet it's going to continue. And that's just unconscionable. And not enough of our representatives are standing up to say enough is enough. And so we have to be out here until it happens.
How does it feel to be out here for 22 years and it's still going on?
Well, one thing that feels good right now is that there's a whole new generation of young people and people across the world who now understand the situation. And this is the next generation, and so that I am very grateful for. But our political system is ossified around this support for Israel at all costs, and it is very costly. We give $3.8 billion a year to a country that routinely commits human rights violations. And our members of Congress are simply blind to the realities, even though we've talked to them and told them and relentlessly tried to explain to them what's going on, the occupation, the settlements in the West Bank, the siege of Gaza, the suffering this is causing. They simply are oriented around a pro-Israel position that doesn't allow for the human rights of the Palestinians. And so then they also say, well, I'm for a two-state solution. But I have never seen any evidence that they actually do anything for any kind of solution. It's just a platitude. It's just performative. They just say it just because that's what you say in polite conversation. But they don't really mean it. And they're not going to do anything about it. And maybe this time they will talk about a real solution. But whether you're for a one-state solution, which is my preference, or a two-state solution, there's a lot of things they could be doing that would support both solutions. Stopping the settlements, turning over Area C in the West Bank to the Palestinians, ending the siege of Gaza, helping the Palestinians get elections so they can have a democracy again instead of the split system between Hamas and Gaza and Fatah in the West Bank. This has served Israel's interest to have this split, and they don't want a democracy for Palestinians, but the Palestinians do, I believe, want a choice in their leaders, and they need new leaders, and we need to help them on that. That would work. That would be good for us, whatever solution you voted for or wanted. So there's no reason for them not to work on those basic things.
Why specifically are you for a one-state solution over a two-state solution?
Well, I kind of a little agnostic about it because I think it's going to have to be the Palestinians on the ground who have to decide, make those tough decisions. There's something to be said for each. The two-state solution has the advantage that our political leaders say they support it, so we could press them on something that they already say they support. And like I said, there's factors that go into supporting both solutions that will help either solution, ending the settlements, ending the Area C, ending the siege. But the one-state solution is simply because of the settlers, because there's 30% of the Palestinians are Israeli citizens, that why not have a democratic state for all the people on the land? That way the religious Jews could appreciate their religious heritage in the West Bank, and the Palestinians can go back and visit family in Israel because it'd be all one country. And so it's a much more humane solution. But given the division between the Israelis now, especially after this carnage, both in Israel and in Gaza, it's going to be very difficult to field that idea to the state of Israel. So, so I kind of waffle between the two solutions, but ultimately it's going to have to be the Palestinians that make this choice. And I just want to open the door, all the doors I can, so they can make that choice.